MiddleEasy.com. Here with a frustrated Tyron Woodley. Talk about what's going through your head.
It's just a circumstance. I feel like overall, just everything is contingent upon somebody else. What they're doing, who's injured, who's in town. And also, I got good stand-up, man. I got to really start knocking people away. I got power in my hands. I feel like I landed some, pretty hard blows, but single punches, is the death of MMA. Guys that throwing counters and actually throwing combinations are guys that do well, and that's what I trained for. That's what I was prepared for. So I'm a little bit frustrated with that, but overall, it's a tough kid. At any point I could have just let him, turn the tide and push forward. But it's just fighting all these risky fights, tough guys, and no belt on the line, man. It's starting to get real frustrating. So hopefully, Strikeforce do the right thing and put me in there for the belt. Give me the 12 weeks I need to prepare for a fight, and then we'll take it home.
How would you compare Jordan to some of your recent previous opponents?
Man, he's just as tough, man. Between him, Tarek, and Paul Daley, I think they're equally as tough. Those guys obviously have been working on their wrestling defense. They don't want to get down to the ground. They don't want to stay on the ground. And obviously, he was lumping my head up with some elbows while he was on the ground. So I think the threat he posed with his length, man, he is not 6 foot. He is at least 6'2". So when I got on top of him in the guard, he was stretching my legs out. So my face was almost like right on his chest. So it's hard to land punches. Obviously, you don't want to, lose a good position if you have it. So I think the threat with him is just that he wanted to win the fight, and I knew that going in there.
What was going through your head as soon as you heard that it was a split decision?
I didn't understand how. I mean, unless you can completely score from bottom, where every strike you throw is seen as you being offensive and you're on your back. The guy came in our locker room. He said, if you want to get up, don't do anything. He said, hold your position. If you want to stay there, when I say keep busy, keep busy. So obviously he wanted to be there because he kept elbowing. But for me, I just thought it was a very, very, very best at 29-28. I thought I won every round. I can see how some judges would have saw that, him controlling my hands and elbowing me. Maybe they would have given him the edge. But even on the feet, we both landed like 1 or 2 meaningful, hard power shots. And I just don't see how it was a split decision. But that's been the consensus in the judging here lately.
Scott Coker broke the news that Misaki and Paul Daley.
I'm not happy with that. I'm gonna be honest.
And tell me why.
Because instead of calling me, and it's a free Showtime weekend, this card was amazing. They put their best foot forward. The people they thought would be most exciting, especially like me and Jordan. Man, realistically, if you think about the matchup, it had the potential to be a lot better than what it was. And I think he's frustrated. I think I'm frustrated as well. But when you see a Paul Daley, a person I just defeated, fighting a Misaki, a guy that's coming over, I don't know what their thought process is, but why not give me the 3-month notice and let me fight Misaki for the world title? I just don't understand it, because now if they fight in March, what's been the theme of my fight? 6 to 8 months. So there's no way I'm gonna fight in January. Those guys fight in March, and we're gonna fight right back in April. So it's gonna be at least 6 months before I'm back in there. So I'll find a way to keep busy, and we'll see me in there again.
And how do you deal with the criticism of the fans? I was reading Twitter a little bit, and probably to your dismay, people were complaining about the fight. What do you want to say to those people? And basically, what do you want to say to them?
I don't have much. They have their free will and free opinion. I really don't. For every one person that says I lay and pray and X, Y, and Z, they got to realize this is mixed martial arts. Do I agree? To a certain point, I do agree. I would have loved to go out there and try to take his head off and do a little bit more. So I don't really let it get to me. I'm not really sensitive when people criticize about stuff like that. But it is mixed martial arts. So the ground and the wrestling is a component. It's 2/3 of the game. So if you want to watch a kickboxing, a Muay Thai, or a boxing fight, this is not the right sport. You got to be able to mix it all in together. The only thing I'm frustrated with myself, the 1/3 of the striking that I prepared a lot for, that I was ready for, I didn't really incorporate that like I wanted to. But I don't really let them get to me. A lot of people, if I tweet back and forth, within 2 or 3 tweets, they end up following me on Twitter. So I just don't let it get to me at all.
Let's talk about the situation with the title and what's going on with that. Obviously Misaki and Daley are booked. Who's left for you, and who would be acceptable for you?
It would have to be Misaki, but he's fighting Daley. What if Daley knocks him out? Are we going to rematch? in that case, we should have just fought for the title in the first place. I think just the Misaki supposedly having visa issues getting into the States, guys being injured, Daley leaving Diaz leaving the division. I mean, every single time has been something where it wasn't in my control, and because of it, I was basically sat looking around, what's going on next, what's going to happen. So I don't know. I actually really enjoyed watching Tarek and freaking Stinson. Those dudes went to freaking war today, and I've been verbal about I don't think he's fought anybody that deserves a rematch for me. And now his arm's broke. So I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really frustrated with the situation. I don't think Strikeforce Showtime is doing it on purpose, like as a vendetta towards me, but what I think it is that I want that belt so bad that it just keeps seeming like it's further and further away.
You're a man of faith. Do you feel like this is God's plan for you?
I know it is. There's a lot of distractions. A lot of people don't know. I just opened up a gym. My gym has been open 2 weeks. So in the middle of a grand opening, in the middle of opening up a gym, a 10-month-old son that's sick with the flu, 3 kids, wife, people that are dependent on me outside of my family, employees, and putting together a good business plan and doing all those things on top of training, on top of managing a couple fighters. My plate is stacked, and I don't make excuses, but I think God put those on my plate for a reason. He knew I was going to have the gym. He knew I was going to have basically this fight coming up around this time, so I just really started focusing. And the thing for this fight, even beyond the fight, it was focus. With all the distractions, it wasn't a coincidence that we planned it in Sin City, the most distractful place to fight, and I had to go through there, after I was already dealing with that. So the thing for this fight is obviously, just relying on him, believing.
Before I let you go, is there anything you want to say to the MiddleEasy.com readers?
MiddleEasy.com, you guys bring the news, good, bad, whatever you guys bring it raw. I appreciate that. Thank you for supporting, and check them out.
T. Wood, thanks a lot, buddy.